Hello everyone, it's Ashwin Rao, and what you see here is my current collection of tall boots. This is, as predicted, a change from the lineups I have posted recently because many of us who have gotten into engineers and other tall boots tend to find our way to different boots and ultimately struggle to some degree with sizing. I am no different. I've been surprised that some boots, which I thought would fit me incredibly well, simply don't fit as well as I would like, and some boots simply will not accommodate my feet, or my feet will not accommodate and adjust to the lasts of those boots. That was definitely the case with both, unfortunately, Clinch and John Lofgren. I found both of those boots to have essentially too low an instep to feel comfortable for me, and a lot of heel slip in both boots. And so I have decided that for me, fit is really going to be king. And a fit followed very closely by style, followed further along by brand, and finally by material. And so size is key because you're going to have to wear these boots all day long and ultimately accept that the boots are either going to be comfortable or your feet are going to hurt. And while some boots may evolve with you over time and you will learn to grow into that size, I'm not willing to put in so much effort because of my collection, as you can see here, that maybe the break-in period has to be a little closer or quicker for me. And so this is number one. Number two, brand. Certain brands I have come to understand just work better for me. This brand right here that represented by this pair of engineers and this pair is Zeros boots. Z-E-R-R-O-W-S. Some people call them Zeros. I call them Zeros. And Zeros boots fit me incredibly well. Incredibly well-crafted Japanese-made boots. There is a part of these boots that really is important for me in terms of fit. That is this instep area here. So the instep has to be capable of securing my feet, and essentially that's the responsibility of both the heel cup, the toe box, and that instep, but also should be accommodating for me to get my shoes readily in and off the feet in the first place. And so Zeros seems to accomplish all of that, and yet with incredible style. This is their short round or low round last, which I think is incredibly beautiful. This is their semi-chisel last, which is also available on engineer boots. Also a really lovely last. Both of these, this is a pair in Chrome Excel, so cowhide, and then this in a Dagris leather that I have not heard other tanneries, other manufacturer using that tannery, so I'm not sure if it's a specific collaboration that Zeros has named that. Great leather though, really fantastic leather that forms these small micro creases, so not as many rolls as creases, but still very nice clicking and aging of these leathers so far. They don't have egregious creases or anything like that. So Zeros, to me, for me, really offers the best fit. I like the style, I like the proportionality, I like the little cues that they do in terms of the angles, the lasts, the shapes of these particular boots for their tall boots. Easy to get in, easy to get off. Number two, in terms of brand that I really enjoy, and I'm somewhat surprised, but also somewhat not surprised, is Brian the Bootmaker or Roll Club. Now this pair is incredible. It really locks my feet in. It's a little bit more challenging to get on and off the feet than, say, the Zeros pair over here. But otherwise, it actually probably provides some of the best fit. Now, I got this pair probably about a half size too small to a full size too small. And I'm able to get my feet in with a pair of dress socks on. And it's fairly cramped up front, which I believe is part of Brian's vibe for fitting the boots. They're unstructured toe, but I'm going to have him size up these boots by relasting them one size up and putting a new sole on because I got these on the used market. So I'll kind of refresh these and they should be a little bit better fit. Lovely natural pair of horsehide engineers that I really love as well. To me, the biggest surprise of all, however, is Crush On Retro. I have 2 pairs now of engineers from them. This is their 501 engineer, which is a bit of an analog to the John Lofgren pair in terms of the stylistic cues. From everything I've heard, it's got this slight bump toe structure to the toe, and the shape and general vibe is similar to the Lofgrens, although maybe slightly less elegant. And then this really rugged 301 last style engineer. This is their 601 engineer in this embossed cowhide, this hatch green that is actually really also lasted very well. These are budget engineers, but somehow the budget, you know, if you put aside the budget, the style is incredible. The leathers they use, in this case, a Chrome XL bullhide, I believe. It's a bison leather, bison Chrome XL. And then this being a cowhide here. Both of these leathers are really lovely. The brand, therefore, Crush On Retro, I'm very fond of because you can get boots from them for $300 to $400, even less in some instances, and they offer for me a fantastic fit. So they've made my shelf despite being budgeted boots. Got another one coming from Unsung down the road. This red brown, this yellow brown, and then this natural leather, and then obviously the natural Chrome XL, which is almost like a taupe color. I've parted with the clinch. I have parted with a couple of my bristle blacks, although I'm about to sell the waxed flesh leather. I'm finding that for anything that requires instep fit, the waxed flesh leather can be pretty harsh on the feet because it is so thick, and it can be a little bit challenging if you want some space to kind of flex in and out of. But this is my set of engineer boots. Other details that I've noticed, you know, these leathers all roll and form nice contours. You can see that the strap placement on some of these is lower versus a little bit higher, a little bit lower. This being the roll club, this being the Zeros being slightly lower, and then the 2 Crush On Retro engineers having a slightly higher placement. They all do a really nice job with their outsole stitching and stitch work here. The roll clubs have a little bit more elaborate lash shape. This stitch work done is a little bit more fancy. You can see the quadruple row stitch along the back heel counter and a triple row stitch along the front element of this shoe versus the Crush On Retro, which pretty much uses a more standard basic double row stitch. Not quite as cleanly done, but still very nicely done. The roll clubs have probably the lowest stitch density, interestingly, on the outsole stitching, followed by, I would say, Zeros right over here, followed by a much more high stitch density coming out of the Crush On Retro outsole stitching. So depending on how you feel about outsole stitching and stitch density, generally higher outsole stitch density is considered more work, but all in all, I think that it doesn't matter so much for engineers. Obviously, you want to have something that's well built and resolable. And I'm debating about other ones. I'm thinking, gosh, because I love Zeros so much, do I go for their black Type 1 engineer from DC4 Berlin, or do I go with East West Apparel that has a really nice squared off engineer, so a different last and more square toed engineer with a pretty substantial toe track that's different than anything I've seen, but in a black Chrome XL being only a leather I'm mildly fond of, not in love with, though this Chrome XL pair is changing my opinion about Chrome XL in general, because it is really a lovely natural Chrome XL, somewhat lighter, and then transitioning to darker at the shaft, probably because of how it has lasted. So all in all, just wanted to give you the update on my engineers. Hope you're all doing well, and we'll talk soon enough. Bye-bye.